Did you give up? I didn't give up, bro. I didn't give up, but I couldn't able to do DoorDash because there is a limit in the DoorDash. When I tried to do the DoorDash, and I'm here. I'm gonna pick up flowers. all picked up. It's time to go. Apple Ridge all the way. Okay, let's go. Know that there is a rule like that. Yeah. Instagram as well. Instagram as well. So I'm on live on Instagram. And now live on Instagram. What up, bro? What up? Yeah, I'm safe, bro. I'm safe. It's my live on YouTube. I'm going live on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. So I think my internet will go like ran out soon. People like you give less. Giving teenagers less opportunity on getting jobs. I don't understand. Dry area. I couldn't make more. Is it worth it? Is it good? Anybody using Starlink? Because go anywhere and get unlimited internet for like $200 a month. That's not bad. $200. Yeah, for unlimited and full service. So anybody using Starlink? And I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. I couldn't buy Tesla, so but I could try to buy the Starlink. What do you guys think? Any suggestions? Any advice? Should I buy the Starlink? When will you return the glasses? I don't know why people are so obsessed with my Meta glasses. So, hey bro, hey, Alroy. I don't know what. You know, they increased my credit limit in my content. Even if I'm not going live, I'd be delivering all these flowers. I'd be doing all this stuff. Just watching on YouTube. That sucks. So this is the private delivery service that I told you about in my last video. So I have 9 flowers and like 2 grocery orders. So, and I'm delivering it. I started at for 1 hour so far. And, not bad. What about you guys? Have you had breakfast? What's up with everyone? Any good news? Your rear view mirror is obstructed and was on the road. Bro, this is an automatic car, bro. It won't go off the trail. Okay, even if you're not using it, it will readjust and it will see it's adjusting itself. That's the technology for you, bro. You don't have to drive anymore. The car drives itself. You just have to be like. So technology is so much advanced. You don't need to worry about. I mean, you don't need to be so. How Tesla? How it's to drive a Tesla? You don't need to worry about anything. You can just click on autopilot and you can just sit and relax, right? Oh, that's a Cybertruck. What the fuck? I'm seeing a lot of Cybertrucks nowadays. Like past week, I think their production has gone up and they are. Oh fuck! It's a Chinese guy, obviously. Only the Chinese are rich here. Anyways, love your content. Keep grinding. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thanks for the love. So, what the fuck, Cybertruck? Ah, man. If technology is advanced, why don't you take the mirror off and let your hands go off the wheel? That's so stupid, bro. I don't know why people are so fucking stereotypical and so binary. It's a world of non-binary, bro. Even the gender is non-binary. Be open-minded, bro. It's a safe proof, fall proof. So go back where, bro? Have some shame. Ungrateful. Ungrateful to who? Why should I have shame, bro? Oh, elaborate. If you wanna hate me. I don't fucking care. I think the live only goes to the people who follows me, right? If you guys are hating me, why do you follow me? That's my biggest question. People say go back. People say like, why the fuck are you wasting your time coming to my live and I don't know. It's so stupid. Yes, you are right. Yeah, please do unfollow, bro. I'm not asking anyone to follow me. If you don't like my content, then please. I'm not gonna cry just because you won't follow me. Oh shit. If I get deported, I will be happy. I don't have to pay for the flight ticket, right? Please go back to India. 26 kilometers. I'm traveling on 26 kilometers to deliver one order. But I love driving, so that's why I'm doing this job. It's not profitable. DoorDash is profitable, but doing this delivery job, it's not profitable. DoorDash no profit, bro. Compared to the deliveries that I'm doing, DoorDash is a little better. I'm not saying it's good, but it's a little better than what the other delivery service I'm doing. Because for this delivery, I'm getting $25 per hour, but I'm traveling like 30-40 kilometers per hour. So 40 kilometers, that I'd be spending around like $4 on gas. It's not worth it. I'll be driving 150 kilometers, $10 an hour. Yeah, but that's better than nothing, right? If there's no DoorDash, then we wouldn't be making any money. Colombia, it's hourly paid in BC. DoorDash is hourly, but I don't know how you guys know about this. If you guys are from Toronto, I think it's not. Maybe they will change the law, but yeah, here it's hourly paid, so it's little profitable. You don't have to drive so much. You guys want to see my face, or you want to see the road? If you want to look at the sceneries, I could change the camera, but the choice is yours. If you just say, I will switch the camera and you can see the beautiful British Columbia. Or if you want to talk to me, then I think this is the best. So my target is for. So far I did 1 hour and then like 2 hours. I walked 2 hours so far. So my target is to walk 10 hours, and by the time I finish all this delivery, I'll be walked. Are you fed up of me? One and only loyal, committed, friendly kind of supporter. I'm not fed up, bro. I don't know. You ask too many weird questions and I don't know. I don't know. You ask too much personal questions. I'm kinda, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So, don't take it in the wrong sense, but yeah, it's a little weird that you're joining in all my lives, and I don't know. so what I was talking, yeah, so today the target is to walk 10 hours. So far I did 2 hours. By the time I deliver all this, I will walk like another 1 hour. I think another 3 hours, I guess. So 3 hours, 5 hours. I'll walk 5 hours today. Then I have to do DoorDash after all this. So once I deliver all this, I'm going to take a haircut. There was someone in this chat talking about, but you find my message weird. DoorDash after finishing this, I guess. Yeah. Yep. I don't know why there are no girls in my Twitch. Maybe if you did something interesting, they would join. Like what? Are there girls on Twitch? I don't know. Food blogging. Oh, I don't have money for food blogging, bro. How food blogging is interesting. Hustling, that's interesting. What up, guys? What up? I'm thinking of other ways to make money. My target is to make $300 every single day. So if I make $300 every day, then in a month I can make $10,000, 10 grand. Can you imagine? So I just have to make $300 every day. So I can make $100. Making $200 is also easy. If I go a little far, if I do DoorDash for like 10 hours, I can make $200. 300, that's hard. How to make $300? How to make that extra $100? Because the time is limited. You only have like 24 hours. Within that, you can only walk like 12 hours straight. So, how to make $300 in a day for every day consistently? That's what I'm thinking right now. So, $100, $150, that's easy. If I worked hard, then I can make like $200. But anything above that is so fucking hard. My only source of income is DoorDash now. But if they close or if anything happens to DoorDash, then I'm fucked. So I should look for other cash flows, other income sources. So Christmas is coming. There are a lot of business ideas, but I don't know. I'm hesitating. I want to do something online. I think I'll start a digital marketing agency or something like that. I have contacts in India who can do like digital marketing, everything from website to running ads, maintaining the channel, SEO. They can do every single thing. And like if you convert the rupees to Canadian dollars, it will probably cost around like $600-700 per month, and that's cheap, right? I think that's cheap. So do internship and then get a full-time job. I'm not a 9 to 5 type of guy, bro. I'm a freelancer. I'm a part-time gig guy. I don't want to do 9 to 5 jobs. It's so boring. It's for family man, and it's for people with brain. And I'm not suited for 9 to 5. I want my freedom. I want to do things that I can do. So maybe so if I'm not getting anywhere with my freelancing or with my freedom, then yeah, after a point I will try my best to get a freelancing jobs or business. Then if it doesn't work out, then I will go to 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is my backup. So for most of the people, business is their backup. But for me, 9 to 5 is my backup. So yeah, I'll try hard to, because I know I can be successful if I put my full energy into it. You have to start somewhere. Start with 9 to 5 and then go and then do business. That's what everyone is doing, bro. I don't want to do what everyone does. I want to do things differently. I want to try things differently. I'm in my 20s, and I know I'm getting old, but yeah, I can try different things. This is the time to try things. Because in my 30s, I cannot try anything. Because I have to focus on getting a family, settling down, things like that. So I pretty much can't do anything. I'll have money, but I won't have my freedom, and I'll be old. I cannot do the things that I want to do in my 30s or 40s. So for the next 5 years at least, I'll try all different things. And yeah, all it needs is one win, one big win. All I need is one win. If I win one time, then I'll be on the roller coaster, bro. No one can stop me. All it takes is one win. One day can change everything. That's the easiest way to have some money in the bank while you take some risk. That's your point of view, bro. That's your point of view. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. So I worked in a startup 9 to 5. It's not 9 to 5. It's like 10 hours, 12 hours job. It's a startup. I get to have my freedom and stuff. I was working and I was making decent money, and not so much, not so low. It was decent money. I invested, and now I'm like, I know the potential of a startup, because the founders, they made millions. But the employee, as an employee, I made zero. I made some. I made like in thousands. I made in thousands, but they made in millions. So that's why I know the potential of the startup, because I worked in that. Where do you like more, Van or Toronto? Obviously Vancouver, bro. Vancouver is for life. Toronto, it's so crowded. I don't know, maybe because I was staying in Scarborough or like brown community. I'm staying with brown community. I don't know, because if I stayed in maybe I don't know, downtown or Don Mills, those kind of area, maybe I will like Toronto. But I don't know. Wherever I go in Scarborough, it's all fucking brown people. I didn't come here to see, like, be with brown people. I'm not being racist, I'm just being honest. Okay, no pressure. What works for you? Yeah. And I'm not saying it works for me. It's not working for me. But I'm trying my best to make it work. So obviously it's not working for me. My business is failing. My Instagram is not going anywhere. My social media is not going anywhere. It's stagnated. Social media is good because views and things like that. It's good for connecting with people. The other day I went to SFU. You guys know Simon Fraser University. UBC is top class, University of British Columbia, and I think, in my point of view, like, first UBC is first, and Simon Fraser University is. I went there. I saw this MBA guy who's graduating there, who is studying there, and he knows me from my videos, and his friend know me from my videos. That's so freaking, I don't know the expression, but it felt good that people are recognizing me. I'm becoming a little familiar face around here. So, but I don't know how to use that and make money. That's the point where I struggle now. So I have this reach in social media. Yes, people are trolling me. I'm a big laughing stock on the internet, but at least people recognize me when I'm on the street, and I want to monetize that. So if you guys have any tips, any ideas to monetize attention, then I'm all ears. I'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts behind that. Look at the sceneries. It's so beautiful, right? That's why it's called British Columbia. You cannot find a river. Does it? I never seen maybe small rivers, but I never seen a bigger river or lake or mountains. Nothing in Toronto. That's why I like. Only the good part is it's close to New York, so you can head to New York and have all the fun. But Toronto, I don't know. Maybe if you have good friends, then Toronto would be better. But Vancouver is hands down the best city. What do you guys think? Do you guys like Toronto or Vancouver? But the only problem with Vancouver is you need money. If you don't have cash, then you'll probably live a mediocre life here. So I have a United States USB to go with me, but none of my friends even applied for United States visa. They don't know. I came to Canada for one thing, to travel, to fucking look at the beautiful, amazing landscapes and stuff. I love traveling. That's why I came. So I know the power of visa. So that's why I applied. Right away I applied, and like after 3 months of here, after 4 months of getting here, I applied for the. Known earlier, I would have applied for it earlier, but yeah, I got it anyways. So, do you guys have a United States visa, or we can meet up? We can catch up. What up, guys? What up? What up? What up? Ooh, doo, 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 doo. So give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna. Control. What up, guys? What up? If you guys are not talking to me, then I'm gonna listen to podcast because it's so fucking boring. So if you guys want to talk to me, then just comment, then we can talk. So till now, I'm gonna play the podcast.
Only at public.com. Brought to you by Public Investing, member FINRA and SIPC. Yield to worst is not guaranteed. Not an investment recommendation. All investing involves risk. Visit public.com/disclosures for more info.
Hey everyone, we're brought to you today by the Capital One Quicksilver Card. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere. Plus, there's no limit to the amount of cash back you can earn, and rewards don't expire for the life of the account, which is
more ways to pay with all. Yeah, you.
our offer code stuff. Here, basically, we're at the point where he has ended the experiment, and now we're dealing with the fallout since 1971 and how this should be viewed.
One of the big things that came out of that French book, The Birth of a Lie, is unearthed a recording that was, I don't know where he found it, but he found it and released the transcript of it that clearly has, if not Zimbardo, at least Jaffe, definitely Jaffe, coaching the guards.
Yeah, to be more brutal.
Right, be a tough guard. Just think of like how the pigs do it, and do it like that, I think is what the quote was, right?
Yeah, well, the whole idea of this thing is to try and prove that
methodologically, there's a lot of things that happened the moment they started coaching those kids. And then number two, they made them co-experimenters.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was supposed to be guards and prisoners,
and we're gonna watch
as test subjects or participants. And when you coach the guards, they're co-experimenters now. Now the experiment's entirely on the prisoners, which you can say, okay, well then those findings still work. Well, that gets thrown out when you base the whole thing on a guy who was faking, right? But you make the guards co-experimenters, and you just completely take out any objectivity from this experiment. That's problem one with the methodology.
Well, and the fact we already mentioned that one of the researchers was a warden, and I keep on calling him Zambrano.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Zamboni himself was the superintendent. Like the minute he decided to do that, like I looked up. I think he was like in his late 30s when he did this.
Mm-hmm.
How did he not, like, was he that bad at doing his job? How did he not know, like, wait a minute, this will taint the experiment?
Do you want to talk about why people think that he was so...
Yeah.
Okay, so he was he wasn't, I think still is, a social activist for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he had decided, and I can't really disagree with him, that prisons were brutal places where brutality lived, and that they were inherently brutal. And so if you take somebody and put them into this place, you're doing a real disservice to humanity by throwing somebody in a brutal place that you know is brutal.
So his aim was to get reform to happen.
Yes, from the outset.
Well, I mean, I can't fault that, but you can't call it a scientific experiment either.
No. And it actually supposedly backfired as well, because one interpretation of his findings is that it's all or nothing with prisons. You can't have them. So either you have prisons and you have brutal prisons, or you have no prisons. And so faced with that choice, and with rising crime rates in the 70s, a lot of people doubled down on getting tough and made prisons even worse, and built more prisons and said, TS, we're not even going to try to reform you anymore. We're just going to send you to these brutal places that are inherently brutal, and there's nothing we can do about it. So it would have backfired in that sense. But in the idea that he was doing something with the best interests of his fellow people at heart,
mm-hmm.
again, like you said, it's tough to fault him for that. He just really, really gave social psychology a black eye.
Yeah, so one of the other things he did wrong, and this one I just can't figure out either, is he didn't have a control group. And one of his, this guy wasn't in the experiment, but one of his colleagues came by one day and was like, you know, what's your control?
What's your independent variable?
Yeah, and he was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have one.
So if you run an experiment of any sort, Gramsci uses a great analogy where if you're trying to figure out what the effects of radiation are on tomatoes,
mm-hmm.
you pick a bunch of tomatoes, you weigh them, you check them for color, you make sure that they're identical to another set of tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two sets of basically identical tomatoes. One you irradiate, one you do not, and after a set amount of time you go back and see what the differences are. And then you can say, probably, that when you irradiate tomatoes, these are the effects, and the effects are the differences between the two. Same thing with the prison experiment, right?
What would you have here? Two different cell blocks, and one that literally isn't coached and completely left alone?
That's what I would have done, for sure.
And then one where you're saying, hey, be brutal, and we'll see if everyone falls into these roles.
Exactly. That would have been great. And actually, some researchers in 2001...
Oh, yeah, they did.
They did exactly that. They basically ran the experiment with just that control group you suggested. It was called the BBC Prison Study.
Yeah, Haslam and Riker.
Yeah, and basically they did the same thing. They did not do any coaching. They didn't do any intervention. They did the thing exactly like you're supposed to, or like Zimbardo should have from the outset.
Mm-hmm.
And they found that, again, they made the control group to the original Stanford prison experiment. They found that the exact opposite happened. The prisoners stayed banded together. The guards were totally in disarray and disorganized. The brutality never emerged, and there wasn't any violence. From what I understand.
And this is where it gets really scummy, if you ask me. Zimbardo found out about this, and supposedly Haslam and Riker said to keep them from getting published and claiming that they were fraudulent.
Yeah, in the journal that they released their findings in, he wrote an appendage to their article and said, just don't even listen to these guys. I'm Philip Zimbardo.
Man.
So, yeah, I thought that was pretty scummy too if he did that. So you've got, methodologically, there's even more problems too. If in the original newspaper advertisement, Chuck, he said,
prison experiment.
Prison experiment, everybody sign up.
Yeah, that was a problem in and of itself. They shouldn't have known what they were doing.
No, exactly, until they showed up, right? So you're going to get a big wide swath of people,
mm-hmm.
and then once they find out what the experiment is, maybe they'll say no thanks or whatever. But this was like attracting, a 2007 follow-up study found narcissistic, hostile, overly aggressive, authoritarian types like flies to honey.
Yeah. or the opposite.
Well, that seems to be the case in this case.
Yeah, which was, in fact, one of them was a liberal activist
Right.
who kind of purposely went in there because he thought maybe these findings could be used one day for prison reform.
Well, I think also most of the what I got from Jaffe coaching the people is say, like, think about what the pigs would do and then do that, because we really got to show them how brutal prisons are. I think everybody who showed up basically was against prisons. But whether you're against prisons or for them, you were automatically tainted before you even showed up for the interview.
Yeah.
Because they wrote prison experiment in the ad. So from the outset, there was bias. There was no control group. It attracted a biased cross-section of people.
Zimbardo participated.
So he was a participant. And that actually, Chuck, led to the second set of findings, that Zimbardo had influenced this and become a participant himself. And here's the current interpretation of all of it, okay? This seems to be the current du jour interpretation of the Stanford Prison Experiment. Not that people are inherently cruel,
Right.
and inherently will just crumble in the face of authority, although that might still stand, but that people are capable of cruelty if they're recruited by an authority figure.
Right.
The second set, and there's actually been 3 sets of interpretations. The second set was that Zimbardo inserted himself, and that it actually demonstrated what's called situationist theory.
Yeah, and that's basically that external circumstances are the drivers of human behavior.
Right. So the point was not that people are inherently cruel on an individual level,
But the situation that they're put in, they will quickly find those roles.
if there's a power structure above them,
Right.
that has normalized this and is expecting them to fulfill those roles. And this really tied in with, this is 1971. People were still really trying to figure out what the heck had just happened with the Nazis. It was only like 25, 26 years before.
Yeah.
So this idea that this banality of evil, this made perfect sense in that respect, right? There is a bureaucracy that had normalized evil. An interpretation of the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yeah, well, and not just the Nazis, but everything like the Vietnam War.
This prison riot and killed tons of So Zimbardo's like, okay, that's fine. However we're going to interpret this, I'm not quite sure that he would be cool with the current one.
Which is bad.
A lot of social psychologists said, we've known this is bad science all along, but the findings were really interesting. Out with the bathwater. The third one is that Zimbardo inserted himself. And what this study really showed was that people will engage in acts of cruelty if there is a figure of authority recruiting them to what they think is a righteous cause. And in this case, It was Zimbardo making the guards co-experimenters by coaching them to be cruel.
Right.
And in the name of prison reform, ultimately, when they showed the world what happens when you put normal people in a prison situation.
Yeah, which is what the John Wayne guy very much has said all his life since then, is that this is what I thought they wanted, was for me to be a bad guard.
Right.
So we could prove ultimately that prisons need reform.
And that is why he's still complicit, because he's still engaged in these acts of genuine. I think they don't know what to do with it right now. They're trying to figure
Scientific fraud in the typical sense. It was never considered to be scientific. It's typically represented in classrooms as a demonstration, not an experiment, and as a notorious case of ethical malfeasance.
Right.
So that's almost like,
Right.
which is interesting.
Oh yeah. I mean, methodologically inserting yourself, like lying about the findings later on, or misinterpreting the results, or using spin. There's a lot here.
But it was approved by the Stanford Human Rights Subjects Review Committee at the time. Those were Zimbardo's experiments who he presented this to. And they're, he still says that it was ethical.
Well, it was at the time. Under the guidelines, it was
Right.
ethical. But then after, they changed the guidelines.
You couldn't do this today.
No.
Or at least not with, like he did it.
So I did. You remember the very brief Psychology is Nuts series?
I watched that.
I did one on the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yeah, I watched that today.
Did you? What did you think?
It was good.
Thanks, man.
Cute little background.
Yeah. And let's see. You got anything else?
No, I mean, boy, I thought we were pretty scathing, but
We were. This is like vaping level scathing. This is way worse than vaping. I'm sure the vapors are like, wow, they were really hard on that guy.
yeah, the movie, you know, the documentary is probably a little more accurate, but the movie wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great. But it was okay. It felt like a movie of the week.
Gotcha.
You
It's
know?
an airplane movie?
Yeah, watch it on your next flight. That's
I will.
my recommendation.
Thanks, buddy. Well, if you want to know more about this little prison experiment, type those words in the search bar at howstuffworks.com and it'll bring up the
I'm going to call this beautiful.
Any recommendation for podcast? Any podcast recommendations? Oh my God. Any podcast? Any good ones? What do you guys listen to? Listeners. Internet is fucked. I should really get a Starlink. Fuck.
Share your message with the world.
It needs to be a landslide win for this to be meaningful, for it to work, for it to give them an opportunity to get something. If we don't get it at this point in time in history, things are just going to continue to slide into degeneracy. You know, the Americans that were out there voted, and they voted in strong numbers, and they're tired of the nonsense. They're tired of the, you know, you send your kids to school and they're told they can be whatever they want. They can be a bumblebee if they want. You know, they're tired of like silly policies that let in millions. Any sort of processing, it seems. You know, we all know about what's been going on for the last few years, so I'm chuffed to hear that this is where we're at, and hopefully we'll see tides change around the world. Hopefully this is a ripple that changes the tides. In Canada, we have an election coming up next year, so hopefully that'll just get rid of Trump, not Trump, Trudeau, the other T out there. But I think his days are numbered, and I believe the stock markets were rallying. You know, this.
Any other good podcast out there? Something educational?
Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to How I Built This early and ad-free right on Apple Podcasts. Listening on Audible helps your imagination soar. Whether you listen to stories, motivation, expert advice, any genre, new possibilities, new ways to set aside.
Notice you. Constant Contact. Your struggle with expensive, slow, and unmeasurable Constant Contact? Get email marketing that helps you create trust. Constant Contact.
For many people in the UK,
So familiar with. How does this legacy hold up today? What do you think?
Because today, Kodiak cakes, Doritos, I was at Oreos, I go to my friends' houses, they had like pantries full of junk. I go back to my house, we had like wheat germ. I was there. So what kind of things would your mom make you eat?
Every night we had a salad, every night. And I remember her saying a lot of carrots or squash and things like that. And then she baked a lot of bread, like whole wheat bread. We had a wheat grinder in the garage. We didn't have a lot of white flour and white sugar. And so, you know, everything we ate was clean and whole and real. And I remember her kind of saying that, like, it's about eating real food.
I guess her whole wheat pancakes were like a family kind of favorite, and then so good that what other people would ask for them when they would come over.
Yeah, we loved the whole wheat pancake recipe. So, you know, I have fond memories of waking up to the smell of that. Like, that was an exciting morning. It's like, oh yes, mom's making pancakes. And they were really good. She'd beat the egg whites, like in a, you know, separate those, beat them up so they're nice and fluffy white, fold those into the batter. And it really was a great breakfast. I mean, that was an awesome meal, all whole wheat, freshly ground.
She would grind the wheat for her pancake mix.
Yeah, we had a wheat grinder in the garage, and that thing was turned on a lot. And it was pretty loud. You could hear it, you know.
You just buy like unmilled grains of wheat and then make flour.
Yeah, you just, the whole would come over once in a while and have those. I remember like my brother's friend having breakfast with us a couple times. And I mean, I think it was, some of the neighbors probably asked. I also think it was my mom kind of feeling like there's a need out there for more real food products made with whole grains. And there's probably an opportunity to sell this recipe as a mix.
So she was making this pancake mix and decided, hey, maybe I'll like package this up and try to sell it door to door.
Right. She would shop at natural food stores, sugar, things like that. And the mainstream supermarkets really just didn't have a lot of options. You know, the whole grains were out there, but they just weren't that common. And so, you know, I think that's why she thought of that this would be a good niche. But I think she also thought there's probably, maybe she could make some extra money doing it. Because money was tight for us growing up. It was very tight.
So she basically said, look, I'll package this up. And how would she sell it?
So she started packaging these things up. And I think the initial plan was, hey, let's try selling these to neighbors and see how it works. See if people like it.
And what'd she call it, by the way? What? She was blessed with a name like Penny to be used in marketing and advertising, and she didn't use her own name?
Seriously. Yeah, penny cakes, man.
God.
We should have done that.
So she's putting them on like brown paper bags, like lunch bags?
Totally. So she packed all these brown paper lunch sacks on the counter with the freshly ground wheat, dried milk, and you know, the other ingredients, salt, baking powder, stuff like that. And then she hand wrote on these bags. Like, my mom has the most incredible handwriting, and she literally hand wrote on every bag how to make it.
She hand wrote every single bag on the instructions. Wow.
Yep.
All right, so you got all these bags.
Yeah. So she came to me.
By the way, do you remember how much she sold these bags for?
You know, I want to say $5, but that sounds a little expensive for 1982. You know.
But for hand milled wheat, that's pretty great.
Yeah. True.
And so this is 1982. How old were you at the time?
I was 8.
You were 8. Wagon full of pancake mix, and did the neighbors buy them?
They totally did. I remember I knocked on it. So we lived in a cul-de-sac, and I went around to all the neighbors in the cul-de-sac, and I think everybody bought one. You know, I mean, I'm this 8-year-old kid, right? And I was actually pretty outgoing as a kid. Like, that didn't bother me at all. And so, I remember doing that and then going around to some of the other neighbors outside of our street, and I ended up selling all the bags that we had.
All right, so now there's a viable business, and so does this become like a family affair at this point?
No, so what happened was, we sold all the mixes in the wagon.
Yep.
But then we didn't keep going with it. We kind of just let it die out and didn't keep pursuing it at that time.
And that was it. That was cool. And did you do a mission when you were 18?
Yeah, I did. I left when I was 19, just like a month after my birthday.
Yep.
And yeah, I did. I went to Australia.
Wow, that's pretty great. The show know about this. Young Mormons who go on missions, I think, are very well prepared to become entrepreneurs, because you're knocking on 1,000 doors a week and 900 of them are just like slamming in your face, and you still have to be polite, right?
You do. It's so hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I mean, yeah, you're just doing that over and over and trying to talk to people, trying to get somebody to listen to you, and you get all this rejection.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are nice, but most of the time people are nice. But every now and then you get someone that the pancake category really didn't have much in it in the way of healthy product that tastes awesome. That's number one. That is healthier water, and he felt like if he.
And did you kind of reach out to him and say, hey, I'm gonna join you?
Well, the timing of this was so perfect, because I was getting off of my mission in October of 1995. And so right then, that's when John was about ready to go out and start selling this pancake mix that he had been working on while I was. Want to help me? And he wanted to kind of, obviously evolve it from where we did it out of the Red Wagon.
Yeah.
Make a real product, create a brand, and then go start selling this in stores.
And how did he have any capital to do this? I mean, I guess he was a bit older than you at that point. He was probably in his late 20s.
Exactly.
But how did he have any cash to even start this up?
It was incredibly tight. So John was about 28 when he started this, and as he got ready to really start, I helped him find a truck that he was able to flip. So I used to flip old trucks and make money on them. And I still do it, actually. It's pretty fun.
You just buy a truck and fix it up?
Yeah, buy an old truck, fix it up, sell it, and make money on it.
Huh.
And I did that all. I mean, I did that all through college, and I paid for my mission that way, most of my mission that way. And what I would do is, like, this is really funny. I would go around. I'd drive around neighborhoods. I'd see an old truck on the side of the house, and I'd walk up to the door and go, "Hey, do you want to sell your truck?" And man, I had so many people say, "Yeah, actually, we're not driving that truck anymore." And often you'd find them in really good condition. So they would just need, like, a detail being cleaned up, maybe a little bit of paint touch up, or so usually minor things. So I found this truck for John, and John drove it around for a while, and then he sold it, and he made $1,400. And so he was kind of like, "Look, I think I can actually start my business on this."
On $1,400?
On $1,400, yeah.
Wow. So you're in college, he's starting this thing up, and you want to be involved with it. What do you do?
So I had time, and so John was ready to go. He had found a little producer in Salt Lake City to produce the first kind of run of Kodiak cakes.
And by the way, was he calling them that by that point?
Yeah, actually by then he had created the brand, product.
And how did he come up with that name?
Approached it was, he really wanted something, Kodiak cakes.
What did the package look
like? The logo hasn't changed a lot. It has a big bear on the front, brown craft look, But what was different about it then is it was paper bag, and it was like sewn across the top, to seal it off.
Oh yeah, the bag was sewn, right? So you had to like cut it off or take the string out.
Exactly, take the string out.
By the way, that logo, if anyone listening can picture, right? There's that bear growling, and it says Kodiak Cakes. It's got like it's sort of a maroon rust-colored circle around it with wheat. And basically, what it looks like today was what he made in 1995.
Yeah, I mean, there've been just some subtle changes over time, but I mean, the bear hasn't changed at all, for example.
So tell me, how did you guys, as you kind of started up this business, Where did you go to? I mean, would you just go door to door to little shops? Yeah.
That's basically exactly what I did. So John had a full-time job still.